Welcome to She Leads Group Member in the Spotlight interviews. Today we welcome our DTC South She Leads Group member, Lori Dubois, owner of Marketing Troubadour. Lori is a strategic marketing consultant with expertise in email marketing and content writing. Lori has had her business for 12 years and has more than 30 years of marketing experience. Lori, that's a long time. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your business?
Sure. Thanks, Beth. Yes, it is a long time. I have lived in Colorado since I was 4, so I kind of cheat and say I'm a native, which may not be okay with some people, but I consider myself a native. I have been in marketing communication fields in one way or another for literally over 3 decades. I got my start after college by working for a small daily newspaper in advertising. So that was my first kind of taste of marketing. And then I had a variety of different jobs in office administration, office manager kinds of things, project assistant, and always kind of had a little bit of marketing thrown in there until I really made the transition and did only marketing. And about 14 years ago, I went back, how time flies, right? I went back to school to get my master's degree at DU, and I got a master's degree in library and information science with a concentration in knowledge management. So even though I should be a librarian, I have actually never worked in a library, but that skill set is very complementary to marketing field. So what I do at Marketing Troubadour is help small business owners, whether they're solopreneurs or entrepreneurs with a small staff, in figuring out how to tell their story, get their messaging nailed, and what the right things are to do for their business.
Wow, that sounds fantastic, Lori. Now, I've heard that you have a little obsession with story and storytelling. Can you tell me about that and how it plays into your business?
I can. First of all, the reason my name is Marketing Troubadour is because a troubadour is a storyteller. And I actually watched a film during one of my grad school classes where they had the little traveling minstrel person speaking about, before, oral language and written language, and how the little traveling troubadours went around to all the villages to sing songs and tell people the news of the day. And I always thought that was so fascinating. And so, although I don't play a little guitar, so I'm not really the traveling minstrel, I liked that idea and this concept of humans being hardwired for story. I just love that. I find it really fascinating. And I think that when we communicate using story, more than even storytelling, it's that concept of story itself, meaning that story enriches our lives. It helps us connect with each other. It helps us add meaning to our life and kind of make sense of the world and figure things out through doing story. So after doing this for a while and knowing marketing, I thought about it and I think marketing is essentially storytelling, right? It's getting your message and having people put their story out there, because when you tell your authentic story, it attracts the right people, and at the same time, it kind of disqualifies the people who really are not interested, which is what we want to do in marketing.
Right, right. And I think that there's a lot of other marketing consultants out there, and maybe your obsession with the storytelling differentiates you from other marketing consultants. What would you say differentiates you from other consultants out there?
I would say that is absolutely one of the things. Another one I think that differentiates me is, those little like personality tests that you take that say, are you left-brained or right-brained, and try and figure them out. I am actually equally balanced left brain, right brain, so kind of 50-50. And I think that people think marketing people are these wildly creative people. And I feel like I'm creative in a problem-solving sense, or in marketing ideas kind of a way. I'm not necessarily creative as an artist with artistic abilities, but I think it's not just having those ideas. A lot of marketing people and design people particularly are really good at ideas and this creativity, and they might not have that analytical side. And I always say marketing is kind of part art, part science. So it's knowing both of those things together. I've had someone tell me that working with me is like having coffee with their best friend. I can, get to know them. It's kind of like playing 20 questions. I ask people a lot of questions because I want to know them and know who they are and what their business is all about, because that helps me, especially when I know who they are as a person. It helps me figure out what the best way is to message for them.
I definitely agree about that. Most marketing consultants, they're more on the creative side. And I think that's a really good gift that you have, that you're both creative and have that logical, strategic side of you as well. So Lori, one other question, how long have you been a member of She Leads Group, and how has it impacted you?
I've been a member for not even a year yet. However, what I find so fascinating about She is that I was asked to be a speaker at a few different an all chapter meeting and also a business expo. And so when I started meeting with these people from She Leads Group, what I found was, and completely honestly, there's just a higher caliber of women that are in this leads group. And as I started getting to know people and also knowing what the culture is, understanding this culture that you have built, Beth, of being able to support someone on their heart side, their family side, and their business side is actually a brilliant idea. So thank you for creating the group. I think that it obviously works. The more that I met people and visited some of the different groups, I was lucky enough to get involved in the DTC South group right when it launched this last December, and be able to run that group and try to start building a new group as She grows. So a few things that I wanted to mention, just in the last few months, I have done business with a few different She Leads members. One is Donna Kidd, who is an auto broker. I bought a new car from her, and that was the best experience, I will tell you. Also did some business with Suzanne Mitchell from Zamar Printing, and they both are a good example of what I was expecting from getting to know people in She, and that is that they're completely and totally professional, but at the same time, they're real people and they're friendly and they want to support you as well. So I'm just really excited to be part of the group.
Well, thank you, Lori. I'm so glad you're part of the group too. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with those viewing this video?
I think one thing, just in closing, is that I want to remind people that they have a story, and even if they think it's nothing special or that it's the same as everybody else, it's not. I can promise you that your story is different than anybody else's. So I see so many entrepreneurs worrying about how to differentiate themselves in the marketplace. And yes, that's very important. But to be honest, if you just tell your authentic story, and if you think about it, your story includes, where you're from and your work background and your education and how you feel about things, and all these things work together to make your story, and it is actually impossible for someone else to have the same story as you. So as long as you own your story, even if you're selling shoes and the guy next block over is selling shoes, there's no way that you can be the same. I think if people realize that, then they also know when they just tell their story and they let some of their personality and their emotion come through, it will attract the right people. People will resonate with them. And whether it's, oh, they have a kid and I have a kid the same age, or, oh, I played that sport in high school and they did too, or just those little connection pieces. I think sometimes that's the thing that tips the scale, and we think ourselves that they're not important to our business, but they really are.
Oh, I love that. I love that, how you said that. Well, you are definitely the master of helping people tell their story. And I think you are very talented as a marketing consultant. So thanks for being here today, Lori. And thank you for being such a supportive and caring member in She Leads Group. For those of you watching, I hope you can tune in next time for another interview. And in the meantime, everybody stay safe and healthy. Bye-bye.